It's appropriate since it's a basketball game tonight.
It's not so much about tonight's game, just more so about experience during the playoffs. So apologies already.
No problem.
Once you get into the playoffs and with how much experience you have, I know that talent, adjustments, so much go into what happens every night. How much of it is kind of the luck of the draw and the way that things just kind of fall?
You talking about a particular game or throughout the playoffs, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, sort of throughout the play. I mean, whether or not like a matchup that is more favorable happens, or an injury happens, how much of it is just kind of the way that things play out?
Well, that's part of life. So it's no different in basketball, or if you got a banking job, or you're a plumber, or you're a lawyer. Things happen that you have to deal with. So some things are fortuitous, and some things go against you. It could be, like you said, an injury or a referee's call or non-call that you don't agree with. Some matchups are better, some are worse. So all that goes into it. It's not just playing the game and saying, well, this team's more talented, so they're going to win. There's a lot more that goes on. So you just have to deal with it game to game, series to series.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Pop.
You bet.
Does anybody else have any questions about tonight? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and start with Jeff McDonald from the Express News on Tim questions.
Yeah, I understand you have a former assistant coach being inducted in the Hall of Fame next week. So I thought we'd ask about that.
He had a fine career as an assistant coach.
That's what got him over the top, I think, was that one season.
The worst ever.
Sorry. You've been talking about Tim Duncan for 25 years. Is there any way to encapsulate what he's meant to you, to the city, to the team, to the to the sport of basketball, all that stuff?
On a professional level, the most concise way to put it is no Duncan, no championships. And on a personal level, I love the guy.
Just going back to his beginnings, do you ever think about the astronomical odds of one of the top players in NBA history coming from that spot on the map of the Virgin Islands where he came from?
I do, especially since he was a swimmer and wanted to be an Olympian as far as that goes. So it's a pretty incredible story. Everybody knows the story, but it's true. And that's something that we're all very happy about. We still toast him when we have dinner, as we've said before. Thank you, Timmy. So obviously special.
All right, I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, Pop.
Hi, Tim.
Does Timmy ever say thank you, Pop, at those dinners by any chance?
He's not.
That's only for the good assistants?
Exactly.
Pop, I know we're supposed to be asking about Timmy, but I'd be remiss. I know that you wanted Rudy to get in for a long time as well. Him going in as part of this group, how much weight does that carry with you, and how overdue was this from a Rudy perspective?
I never really understood why he was continually overlooked. I mean, as much as success that he had year in and year out, and the championships that he won were really hard fought. And, he came from the lower end of the rankings in both situations to just gut it out. He was a coach of one of the Olympics and got a gold medal. He was a class act. Players loved him. He has the game in his blood. I always thought he was an obvious choice. So for it to finally happen, is just a wonderful thing for him and his family and all of us who are his friends.
And to go to back to Tim for a second, I remember the night you guys retired the jersey, and I mean, I don't pretend to know Tim, but that was as emotional as any of us have ever seen him get. Do you expect his speech next Saturday night will be maybe somewhat similar? Because I'm guessing he doesn't really like those moments where the spotlight is on him, but unfortunately that's part of the deal with this.
You're right on target with that. He really tries to stay away from those kinds of moments, and he doesn't like talking about himself. He's never been a chest thumper or look for the camera or anything like that. He's quite selfless and pretty much just a homebody. That's just who he is. So I actually have not talked to him 1 second about what he's going to say or anything like that. This is all about him, and he's got to feel comfortable with what he's doing. So I really don't know how he'll react, but I don't think he's going to be up there for a real long time speaking.
Thank you, Pop.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tim. Let's go to Jurgen Weitzman from The Ringer.
Hi, Coach. So the bank shot. What are your memories about the shot, or do you have any specific ones that stand out most about it, or what made it so special?
I think one of the things that made it special because it's so rare. Not many people really use that to any degree. So his size, on top of shooting the bank shot, was a pretty special thing. It was one of the first fundamental things I think everybody noticed about him. And it wasn't like an 8-footer or a 10-footer. He did it from 18 to 20 feet, and his footwork was great, and he knew how to land it on the backboard, and it was a rarity. It still is, as a matter of fact. But that was his first signature move that I think everybody realized that there's probably something pretty special about this guy.
Why do you think that is that others don't take that? We don't see that anymore.
I can't answer that question. I think all coaches ask that all the time because it's in many situations the appropriate shot would probably produce a higher percentage. But in today's game, you could say that when Timmy was playing, but today's game, shooting bank shots from 3 is probably not going to be great. And that's what we all do. Live and die shooting threes. And I don't think anybody's going to start practicing banking it from those distances.
Be fun.
Maybe Steph can do it, but I don't know if anybody else can.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Jurgen.
welcome.
Let's go to Tom Worsborn.
Pop, statistics and awards aside, with his inclusive nature and his willingness to put team goals first, is he also just a Hall of Famer as a teammate and a leader?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, he led by example. He even to this day, up until COVID, he's in the gym every day. It's just how he rolls. And with his teammates, he set the quiet example of competing every day, whether it was practice, shoot around, and of course the games. He always took the lead, even Manu and Tony looked toward him. And he gave of himself in a very humble and quiet way. And I think that as far as the teams were concerned, the championship teams were all kind of different. The core was there, but new guys kept coming in to round it out. And he was the guy who welcomed them all. He was the one who made them all feel comfortable and let them know what he expected of them. So his standards are really high. He suffered no fools, but he gave everybody an opportunity to commit to a role and fulfill it.
In that sense, was he kind of your alter ego? I mean, were you guys had such on the same plane all the time? How much did that make it easier to run a team?
Well, any coach that has their best player as a leader who's respected by everybody and who can handle criticism makes the job much easier. So I was very fortunate in that regard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tom. Let's go to Michael Wright from NBA.com.
Hey, Coach. Going back to the pre-draft process, when you spent a little time with Tim in the Virgin Islands, when you got back, like, what did you end up telling RC and the rest of the staff?
That it was pretty obvious that he was highly intelligent, had a great sense of humor, was serious about the game, and winning was what he was concerned with as far as the game was concerned, nothing else. And he was fun to be around. So I would think those were probably the qualities that I noticed first when I spent that time with him.
Got him past Scott Pollard.
I'm sorry?
Got him past Pollard.
Oh, yes. All right.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, take care.